When we think of love, forgiveness, or even compassion, we usually think of how we treat others. We imagine forgiving those who hurt us, helping those in need, or showing kindness to people around us. But Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, revealed something far more unsettling and far more profound. He told us that before we can ever truly love another human being, before we can forgive the world, before we can even heal, we must first do something terrifying. We must learn to love the enemy within ourselves. This idea was not just theory for Jung. He spoke about it in one of his most famous lectures to a group of clergy in Switzerland. And what he said there has echoed through psychology, spirituality, and personal growth ever since. Today, we're going to unpack this incredible lecture. I'll explain what Jung really meant, why it matters so much for modern life, and how it can completely transform the way you see yourself and others. So let's step into Jung's world. Jung began by pointing out something we often forget. Even doctors, therapists, and healers are human. They too carry moral struggles, secret flaws, and private pain. He said, "A patient can never feel truly accepted unless the very worst in them is also accepted." Think about that. It's not enough for someone to be loved for their good qualities, the parts they're proud of. For healing to happen, even the ugly, shameful, and broken pieces must be met with compassion. But here's the problem. Most people, even professionals, recoil at those dark confessions. They flinch, they judge, or they withdraw. And the patient, sensing this, feels even more alienated. Jung insisted that the only way to meet another person's darkness is if you have already faced your own. If a doctor, a friend, or a partner wants to truly guide someone, they must walk side by side, not as a judge, not as a critic, but as a fellow human being who knows what it is to wrestle with shadow. Jung said something radical. Whether you speak your judgment out loud or keep it silent, the damage is the same. The moment you secretly condemn someone, you create distance. And the opposite, agreeing with them too quickly, excusing everything, pretending their pain isn't real, that also does nothing. Real empathy isn't about judgment, but it's not about false agreement either. Instead, Jung called for unprejudiced objectivity. Now, that sounds like a scientific phrase, but Jung didn't mean cold detachment. What he meant was something far deeper, a profound respect for the suffering person, for the strange facts of life, and for the mystery of the human soul. A truly spiritual person, Jung said, recognizes that God, or if you prefer, the universe, works in strange ways, that even in the most broken parts of us, something divine is trying to reach through. This means that when someone confesses their darkest secret, or when you see the shadow side of yourself, you must resist the urge to recoil. Healing begins only when the truth is fully accepted. Jung was clear. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. When I condemn you, I become your oppressor, not your ally. When I condemn myself, I become the tyrant of my own soul. And this oppression, whether turned outward or inward, only deepens the wound. He wasn't saying we should never make judgments in life. Sometimes we must. But if the goal is healing, whether for another person or for ourselves, judgment alone can never create change. To truly help, we must first accept. And this is only possible if we have already accepted our own shadows. Jung admitted something that might surprise you. Self-acceptance is one of the hardest challenges of life. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Accept yourself. Yet in reality, it requires enormous courage and inner work. Feeding the poor, forgiving an insult, even loving your enemy. These are great virtues, but Jung pushes us further. He asks, what if the greatest enemy is not outside of us, but within us? Imagine discovering that the beggar you are called to feed is the part of yourself you've been starving. Imagine realizing that the person you must forgive is your own soul. Imagine facing the truth that the most hateful enemy you will ever encounter lives inside your own heart. That is what Jung meant by loving the enemy within. And yet, most of us do the opposite. We rage against our inner flaws. We deny them. We hide them from the world and even from ourselves. We polish our public image, pretending the shadow doesn't exist. But Jung warns, when we reject the enemy within, we also reject the possibility of healing. This is why he calls healing a deeply religious problem, not in the sense of church dogma, but in the sense of reconciling with the sacred mystery of life. Just as nations at war must find peace through forgiveness, so must the warring parts of our personality reconcile through compassion. Jung believed that modern people, perhaps more than any generation before, are tormented by a bad conscience. We already know about guilt. We already feel our sins. What we crave is not another lecture about morality, but a way to reconcile with ourselves. We want to know, how do I make peace with my own nature? How do I love the enemy inside me? For Jung, this was not about imitating Christ or anyone else. Modern people don't want to copy. They want to live their own unique life, however small, however difficult. And this is where egoism enters the picture. Most religions and philosophies condemn egoism, but Jung took a different view. He said, sometimes a person's egoism is the will of God itself. Now, this sounds strange at first. Isn't egoism selfishness? Isn't it destructive? Sometimes, yes. But Jung noticed that for many of his patients, their egoism was not a curse, but a hidden strength. He believed that helping a patient embrace their egoism, rather than suppress it, could actually lead them to healing. Why? Because through that journey, they would eventually discover their true individuality. Sometimes egoism isolates us. It drives people away. But in that very loneliness, we finally meet ourselves. We learn the priceless value of authentic connection. We discover what it means to truly love and be loved. Jung observed something extraordinary. Again and again, what once seemed evil turned into good, and what seemed good turned out to conceal evil. This is the paradox of life, the law of opposites. The Greek word Jung used was enantiodromia, the tendency of things to turn into their opposite. This is why he believed reconciliation is possible. The enemy inside us, once embraced, can become a source of strength. The flaw we hate most can teach us compassion. The loneliness that feels unbearable can open us to divine connection. This is not just psychology, it is a spiritual truth. In the end, Jung tells us that when we embrace the enemy within, when we stop denying the shadow, we end the civil war in our soul. Instead of being torn apart, we become whole. Instead of hiding, we live authentically. And in that authenticity, we finally discover peace. Not perfection, but peace. This, Jung believed, is the true path of healing. So let me ask you, have you met your inner enemy? Have you looked into the face of the parts of yourself you despise? The memories you hide? The flaws you fear others will discover? What would happen if, instead of condemning them, you extended compassion? What if you dared to love even that broken part of yourself? Carl Jung believed that this is where true healing begins. Not in running away, not in imitation, not in denial, but in the radical act of embracing the enemy within. If this exploration of Jung's wisdom touched you, I invite you to go deeper with us. Subscribe to Psychology Soul for more profound insights into the human mind, Jungian psychology, and the mysteries of the unconscious. If you found value in this video, hit that like button. It helps us bring these teachings to more people. And most importantly, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced what Jung described? Have you met your own inner enemy? And what happened when you did? We'd love to hear your story. Because in the end, as Jung reminds us, healing is not about escaping who we are. It's about finally coming home to ourselves, shadow and all.